This is the Winkle Report with your host, Ferd Winkle, where we keep our eyes open so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ferd Winkle and welcome to the Winkle Report, where we keep our eyes open so you don't have to. Today, we're airing a special segment with a story made possible only through advances in technology similar to that used by the NSA. And the interview which follows is a direct taping of a Skype message between Republican Congressman Dinwiddie from the great...
That's D.M. Witte,
Yes,
sir.
of course, Congressman Witte. We appreciate you being on the show today, sir.
I couldn't very well allow you to spread your liberal slander without any chance to defend myself.
Yes, and thank you again, Congressman. Let's get on with it, shall we? We recently intercepted a communication between you and a member of the Kocha Corporation, in which it appears that you are making political concessions in return for certain favors. Do you recall the incident in question?
Sir, this is just what I was afraid of. You are deliberately painting a false and erroneous picture with your liberal bias that is misleading and libelous.
Are you saying you did not agree to Kocha Corps' request for your vote in exchange for campaign funding?
Sir, what you are implying is unethical and possibly criminal, and I would never support or condone such behavior.
Let's check the video, shall we?
Sir, it's a pleasure to talk to you again. What can I do for you today, sir?
Just a second, DM. Here. Hey, hold all my calls. DM, you are aware that a vote is coming up on CO2 emissions in relation to climate change?
Of course, sir. It's a hot-button topic right now, and my people, are very concerned about it. We feel it's time to take action to preserve our way of life by limiting pollution and the effects of greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes. Well, we would like you to alter your opinion slightly and vote against the measure.
I don't see how in good conscience I can do that, sir.
Let me put it this way, DM. A campaign today costs a lot of money to run. We would like to continue to provide you with that money as we have in the past. But our first concern must be for our own well-being as a corporate entity. And if you are unable to help us provide for that well-being, we will be forced to seek out someone who can. Do you understand?
Yes, but climate change? Science has shown that it is a very real concern, and if we don't do something to control it, we could find the planet uninhabitable in 100 years or less.
100 years is a long time, DM. Time enough for science to solve any little problems we have now. Besides, we both know that climate change is just a ruse liberals use to appease their conservationist friends, don't we?
But what if it's true, and science isn't enough?
Do you think Kocha's rise to eminence as a corporate empire is an accident? Do you think anything going on in the world today is not under our control?
What are you saying?
Let me explain. Kocha has been working under a master plan for the last 30 years, which has enabled us to rise to the top of the corporate ladder. And we control everything from the economy to the environment. Under the plan's guidelines, we are moving towards a world economic union and total domination of the planet's resources. Do you know that Kocha has been purchasing underground space for a while now?
Underground space?
Caves, old mines, things like that. We've been doing it for two reasons. One is to cultivate various food sources such as mushrooms, which are a growing market and a valuable source of protein. And the other is to provide living space as above ground acreage becomes prohibitively more expensive. As a political leader and friend, DM, you and your family are guaranteed a residence in those quarters.
Well,
DM, you can be a part of something that will give you a chance to continue leading your people and ensure you a place in history. Or you can be a fading memory. It's a simple choice.
What do you say to that, Congressman Witte? I say that the whole thing is a farce, and that the conversation in question has been taken out of context to look as though I have done something irregular. I am innocent of any wrongdoing and continue to look after the welfare of my people, upholding the highest moral standards. Yet, when the climate bill did come up for a vote, you did vote against it, and a sizable contribution was made to your political fund by the WTF Super PAC, which is a well-known front for culture. That vote was an act of conscience, sir. It had nothing to do with what your video alludes to. Congressman, you are on record as voting against the bill you said you previously supported. And you did so only after the Kocha Corporation threatened to pull their Super PAC funding. Son, let me explain to you how our political system works. Individuals and corporations are entitled to support whomsoever they wish, with any amount of money that is legal under the law. And they generally tend to support those politicians who recognize the value of their interests and work to see those interests enhanced. When you vote, you do the same thing. You vote for those politicians who look out for your interests. Now, it is true that initially I was expressing some limited support for the climate control bill, but I was not doing so out of a conviction that climate change is a clear and present danger. I was merely trying to judge the benefits and weigh the costs of what that bill would be. As I looked deeper into the matter, I began to realize that the science backing such a bill was very weak, and that climate change was as yet an unproven phenomena. I also began to discover what such an extreme measure would cost the economy and the potential harm it would do to the great American taxpayer. If we remain closed-minded and refuse to listen to opposing points of view, we devolve into dialecticism. And because I believe in our democratic process, I studied the new evidence, and after careful consideration altered my position to conform to what I had learned, thus ensuring that my decision was based on the best interests of my constituency and the facts as I had come to understand them. Then the threat from Kocha to withdraw their political funding had nothing at all to do with your decision? That is what I just said, is it not? Then maybe you can explain what the Kocha representative meant when he talked about buying underground real estate. Sir, you are clearly grasping at straws here. As was clearly stated, underground cultivation of food sources is growing, and it only makes good business sense for Kocha to branch out into a booming industry. And since not all underground space is fit for cultivation, it also makes sense for a great corporation like Kocha to seize the opportunity to develop underground living quarters to help house our burgeoning population. And what did he mean when he said that you were guaranteed residence? What? I'm sorry, Mr. Winkle, but something has come up that needs my immediate attention. I hope this has satisfied your inquiries and that you will cease making such spurious accusations. Good day, sir. Goodbye, sir. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Congressman D.M. Witte, leaving us with more questions than answers. The biggest one being, what is your vote worth? I'm Ferd Winkle, and this has been the Winkle Report.